This is the Uprising Revival. Welcome to today's show. If you've seen my videos over the years, I've covered American Horror Story many times over, or I should say a different YouTuber did with a different name. Wink, wink. American Horror Story is a show on FX. It's one of the most popular shows on TV as far as it gets a ton of publicity. A lot of people watch it. It comes out usually around Halloween time, so we know there's always going to be horror themes, or I should say true themes that are satanic themes, because every single season has a theme, whether it's the Antichrist, which I've covered, the season's about witches, sacrifice, all those types of things. It's a very common thing now that they're normalizing. They show this stuff right in front of us. They reveal themselves constantly, yet everybody thinks that this stuff is fiction, and then they believe the absolute furthest thing from the truth, which is not our reality, which is the mainstream media news, which is just filled with propaganda and no truths whatsoever. It's laughable, the differences between the two. This gets labeled fiction, yet that gets labeled truth, when they really actually show us who they are through music videos, through films, through television shows. So the videos that I've done in the past, I'm going to have uploaded on my website, uprisingrevival.com. If you haven't seen them yet, they're definitely worth watching. I have a lot of shows that I've covered that have these themes. Sabrina the Witch has these themes of sacrifice as well. So those are things that people should check out and need to check out. They'll be available on uprisingrevival.com. Make sure you join if you haven't yet. So the theme shouldn't surprise anybody here. Of course, it's about child sacrifice. I mean, come on. What do you think it's about? Come on. What do you think it's about? Michael Myers? I mean, those days are over, you know? The theme of the year and theme of the century, apparently now, is human sacrifice. That's all they seem to talk about. So the season is based on a book called Delicate Condition, because here's the other theme. Her body is no longer her own. That's the little tagline underneath the book, Delicate Condition. So the season's called Delicate, and who better to choose than the highest-ranking witch in Hollywood itself, the Armenian witch, Kim Kardashian. Yep, Kim Kardashian is going to be in here, and you're going to see a lot of signs and symbols. I'm going to show you a clip right now from the trailer for American Horror Story, Delicate, and just keep an eye on things that are common themes that I always reveal on this channel. You know, eyeballs, yeah, magic ritual circles, you know, child sacrifice, and even a goat. The Baphomet makes an appearance. Yep, take a look.
You are an A-list star now. Focus on the good.
All this will be worth it once we meet our perfect baby.
That woman, I think she's following me.
You just rest up, my dear.
Honey.
Oh my God.
I did it! Can I see the screen? One moment.
Do you want an Oscar? Do you want it as much as a baby?
Yes.
I don't understand the urge to create an unnecessary child.
Feed on your body. Something's happening to me. Rock my baby on the tree. Away from my baby!
American Horror Story.
So is anybody really surprised? Now, this video is more to show you exactly what this season is about, what they're trying to tell you in this trailer, as well as I want to show you a couple of the signs and symbols. So let's just do the signs and symbols real quick. You open up, of course, with a giant circle, right? What do we know this from? Oh, all witches, when they perform spells, we've all learned this, right? Because they show it to us in all these movies like The Craft, pretty much every movie. They sit in a circle holding hands. It's not because they're playing Duck, Duck, Goose. It's because they're spell casting. And when they do this, they summon spirits. And this circle is supposed to protect them from that spirit. This is the stuff that they believe in, which is actually, these things are really done. They're actually true things. They want to fictionalize and make you think that they're not really doing that, but they are. Now, what we see here is them obviously holding hands. As soon as the thing starts, they're all just holding hands in a circle, right? And then they cut right into what? Well, they cut right into this IVF type procedure. Now, for those of you that don't know, IVF is I'll read you the exact definition because I'm not a scholar on IVF, but I do know a lot of people get IVF, and people should really be questioning why they're getting IVF. There's a lot of things about IVF that people should be worried about because, you know, this isn't a natural way to give birth. Now, I understand that a lot of people can't have kids and they turn to IVF, and that's their business, not mine. But what people should be concerned about, are they actually not getting something else injected when they're having this procedure done, the female? So IVF is in vitro fertilization. It is one of several techniques available to help people with fertility problems have a baby. During IVF, an egg is removed from the woman's ovaries and fertilized with sperm in a laboratory. The fertilized egg, called an embryo, is then returned to the woman's womb to grow and develop. So it's like a scientific procedure. Now, there's a lot of Christians who have questions about IVF. I'm not getting into that. But one thing to note about IVF that people should be thinking about is, why can people not have kids anymore? Why are we having procedures like this? And nobody's saying, well, why are you having trouble getting pregnant? Because I guarantee you, you probably don't know this, but you definitely know someone who's gotten IVF. That's how common it is. It's not like they go around announcing this. You know, there's a lot of reasons that they don't, mainly because like nobody wants people to realize they can't have kids. It's a man thing, a woman thing. You know, people have emotions. It's nobody's business, really. But we really should be concerned with the fact that men and women aren't able to reproduce in today's society. That is a result of the chemical baths and all the other chemicals they're putting in our food and what they're doing to people. So they show IVF a lot. And of course, they obviously show things involving what? Oh, babies in jars, you know, because this is normal, right? Now, one of the themes, again, that you'll see was, what did Kim Kardashian say? Well, Kim Kardashian said, do you want to win an Oscar or do you want to have a baby, right? Do you want to win an Oscar or do you want to have a baby? What they're trying to tell you there, even though the book might have a different plot than the American Horror Story, they're really telling you that, well, if you want to have an Oscar, you better sacrifice that baby. And that's kind of where this whole plot goes. Now, I haven't seen the show because it's not out yet, but it kind of goes that direction because according to the book, the woman supposedly has a miscarriage, but then turns out she doesn't. And why does she think that she doesn't have a miscarriage? And why do they tell her she does? Because people are after her. The Hollywood people are after her. They want her baby. They don't want her to have it. As you can hear some of the comments about who would want to have a baby. Why would you do that to your body? You know, this is another mind control seed they planted on our society where having a baby has become taboo. Who wants to have a baby? Don't you want your career? All these brain-dead zombies walking around like that, then feeling completely unfulfilled, a lot of these women, not realizing their whole purpose in life is really to have children, for men and women. Most men and women who don't have kids, they just go around getting divorces, all this other stuff that they do, partying, and they never feel satisfied or fulfilled because they don't have kids. I mean, there's a truth to that. Okay, I mean, I know a lot of people out there haven't even got married, don't have kids, and they wish they had kids. This isn't a judgment on people. I'm saying the mindset that they've declared on our society as a whole is that being a mother isn't a job, it's not a career, it's sexist to make a woman into a mother. And that's part of the theme of the book. It's literally called a horror story, a body horror story. This is what it's described as. If you go through like some of the forums on it, a body horror story. So about like I said, no longer Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Now the horror story is that this woman, she's pregnant and is she in control of her own body? And then the men in her life, in the theme of the book, the men are, telling her that she's had a miscarriage and she's crazy for thinking the baby's still in her body, even though she could still feel the baby moving. So it's a shot, of course, at men because men don't know what's inside of her body. It's her body. Only she knows. And it's her choice. And it just goes down that avenue, of course. So why wouldn't they promote it in the mainstream? But also with the twist, right? Because we see babies in jars. This is just normal stuff for FX now, right? Of course, babies in jars and them talking about how disgusting having kids are and wouldn't you rather have your career and win an Oscar? So sacrifice your baby and then who appears? Well, it's the Baphomet, right? It's a goat. We'll just call him the goat. Of course, a black goat appears because everybody loves goats. It's like Doja Cat loves goats. Kevin Hart, all these celebrities doing goat yoga. We even seen Kim Kardashian's sister doing goat yoga with Kevin Hart. I covered that in the past. Of course, that's been scrubbed. I'll put that up on the website, too, for people that aren't familiar with goat yoga, why it's normalized. And Aleister Crowley promoting yoga and the chakra and inviting spirits into their bodies. So think again about why it's normalized if you think it has something to do with helping out your back muscles or helping you learn how to stretch, okay? It has to do with possession. Aleister Crowley taught very deeply about yoga and technique. Everything that's promoted in the mainstream these days, everything has something tied into the occult and Aleister Crowley. That's a fact. It has nothing to do with the greatest of all time. Oh, is that what someone's going to tell me, by the way? The goat's in there because Kim Kardashian's I mean, people just make these things up. And they're like, that's what that means. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a conspiracy theory. He doesn't even know what goat. How many times I've heard that? He doesn't know what goat means. No, I know what GOAT means. You don't know what GOAT means, buddy. Right? They're normalizing these terms, okay? They're normalizing these terms. So you have this entire theme of American Horror Story, and I'll read you some of the nonsense that, Hollywood Reporter's putting out there. I mean, everybody's just thrilled that we have another season of American Horror Story, but nobody's saying, hey, that's very interesting. It's a lot of the same themes we always see with Sacrifice. And then you have Kim Kardashian in there, who isn't even an actress, kind of like Lady Barfbag, who was in one of the seasons as well, or a couple of the seasons. And of course, the Antichrist themes. And nobody's suspicious. This is just good, clean entertainment, folks. It's unbelievable. So, American Horror Story Delicate, the 12th edition of the FX anthology hit. Delicate's big headline is that co-stars Kim Kardashian. For the first time, a season is based on a novel, Danielle Valentine's Delicate Condition. So, of course, it's based on the novel because they couldn't get enough of the plot of the novel. About a woman and her body and, them telling him she doesn't have a baby, but she knows her body better than the doctors and she knows her body better than her husband. That's the theme. Right? Because the doctors, everyone's like, you've had a miscarriage. And she's like, I feel the baby still. And it turns out she was right. She's still pregnant. I don't know how the story ends, but I'd assume with that plot, she probably at the end of it decides to call Bill Gates up and sees if she can get a one-way, easy pass, get into Planned Parenthood immediately, because Bill Gates, of course, his father was on the board of Planned Parenthood. Nobody sees all these coincidences, right? That's probably how it ends, right? Everybody together just does a giant ritual. Would it surprise you? No, because they're doing it, in the White House probably right now. So the new season's been split into 2 parts. Nobody cares. Murphy has previously told The Hollywood Reporter that this season's sole writer and showrunner Halle Pfeiffer has written a fun, stylish, and ultimately terrifying role for Kim. And this season is ambitious and unlike anything we've ever done. Well, isn't it interesting that they picked Kim for this role? We ain't talking about this, right? Of course, why not? American Horror Story is an anthology horror drama created by Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk. And I've covered them in the past and their affiliations to the occult. Of course, they all are, just like Rick and Morty and all these other shows. All these creators have all these really bizarre things that they've done and done on video and pictures they've taken and tweets they've posted about kids. They just really seem into them, but not having their own or, not anything other than really creepy, dark, disturbing stuff. And you even see the spiders coming out in that trailer too. Of the womb, right? The woman gets the IVF and then like spiders kind of crawl out. So there's a lot of themes in it. Now I haven't seen the show. I'm just basing this video off the trailer, but I wanted everybody out there to know that it's there. Again, right? Children. The theme of the baby, of course, do you want it? Do you not want it? Do you want to be win an Oscar instead? And kind of saying, hey, well, get rid of the baby, you can win an Oscar, right? And then all the Hollywood big executives want her to get rid of the kid, but she wants to keep the kid, and then it's the men, of course, who cause problems in her life, because men are always causing problems. So American Horror Story returns. Of course, Kim Kardashian is in it. I'll cover it. I don't sit through the seasons of it. I'll sit through an episode if somebody tells me the episode needs to be watched and I need to cover it. I take my time out to edit it, record it and do all that stuff so I can put it into a video so people could see the repetition and the pattern. So there's a chance that I do that, but American Horror Story, it's always there. It's always showing, and they get away with it. I always say, like, they get away with this stuff in the name of art. They get away with all this, like, Rosemary's Baby type stuff in movies, and they just go, oh, it's art. It's horror. They're just trying to get a scare out of people, right? This is the same theme pretty much as Rosemary's Baby as well. Like, they're trying to get to the baby. There's spiders coming out of the baby. Maybe there's an Antichrist theme as well, because there's always an Antichrist theme on American Horror Story. That's a guarantee. Right? They say the only guarantees in life are what? Death and taxes. The only guarantees is that every single thing that we see from the mainstream media, from entertainment, music videos, etc., is something worshiping the Baphomet or some type of human sacrifice or anything, really, that has anything to do with the occult. We'll see. Those are the guarantees in life, and that's what I cover here on this channel. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you as always and your families.